TIFU by jerking off and forgetting my pet cam was faced directly at me. So I want to just say this is 100% true and 100% embarrassing. So I usually have Mondays off and spend the day doing homework, tidying up, playing video games, and today jerking off. I don't usually feel inclined to do this, however today I had the urge. It was about an hour before my girlfriend got home, so I definitely had time. I go into my room and get into bed and start skimming through Old Faithful aka Pornhub. I finally find a video worth being my L2 and get down to business. As I'm about to, I get an alert on my phone that my girlfriend had just accessed the pet cam we have in our room that's on our dresser. We got this PetCube camera for Christmas so we can watch our 2 dogs while we are at work/school/out. I immediately stop, now knowing that my girlfriend just witnessed me jerking it mid-Monday, so I text her. She doesn't answer for about 2 minutes and then I see that she's calling me. Now we've been together 5 years, so this isn't like a make or break thing, and I honestly thought that although it was slightly embarrassing, it was also pretty funny. So I answer the phone laughing, ready for this to be something we joke about for a long time to come. Unfortunately, I was sadly mistaken to this being funny. She tells me that her co-workers had asked about our dogs and she wanted to show them on our awesome pet cam. But instead of 2 cute dogs on our bed, it was just me with my shorts down at my ankles, going to town on myself. So needless to say, I don't think I'll be invited to any of her work Christmas parties in the future. TL, Doctor, decided to crank it before my girlfriend got home and forgot my pet cam was faced directly at me. She wanted to show her co-workers our dogs and instead showed them me jerking it in our bed. Edit, Lamau, just some clarification. She's shown co-workers before because they love our dogs and ask to see them because it's cute to see them live and sleeping. Also, in her defense, I told her I was doing homework and whatnot, so the last thing to cross her mind was me yanking it probably. Also the cam is tucked in the corner, so I forget it's even there most the time. Bing my L equals blowing my load. Edit 2, last one, for everyone saying why would you have a pet cam facing your bed? That's where our dogs are 90% of the time. When we are out of the house, that's where we leave them. When we are home, that's mostly where they want to be unless we're on the couch with them. Don't you think we put the camera there for a reason? Lol and BTW, my GF and I are fine. She was freaked out about it at first, but now it's already funny. That's why I love her so much, lol, so take it easy on her. We both coconut up. Last and final edit, not that I need to prove anything, but this is for people asking to see them. It's a Great Dane and Amstaff BTW. My dogs. Camera in your bedroom sounds like a terrible idea. How easy it must be to hack those and spy on people. Could easily get footage of the girl changing if someone wanted it. Not to mention video baby monitors in the neighborhood could accidentally pick up on the feed. Coconut dude. Just cheesecake. All he wanted to do was pet his dog. Ha 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 ha, honest mistake. In fairness, if she is going to be looking at a camera in your bedroom, she should have checked it first. Embarrassing nonetheless. Honestly, 100%. He very well could have just gotten out of the shower and been naked or changing. Just doing anything personal that he wouldn't want co-workers seeing. It was more of her zucchini up. He was just doing a very normal thing in his own bedroom. Dude, I would make sure you got invited to the Christmas party. Don't forget to make eye contact when you firmly shake their hands. Comment to co-workers, there's one dog. A dirty dog. TIFU by walking in on my teenaged son masturbating. This just happened and I am still wishing it didn't. My 15-year-old son and I are home. I'm working on a puzzle and making dinner. He is playing Fortnite. He disappears for a little while and I go to find him. I didn't really need him for anything, just wanted to say hi since we had both been doing our own things for most of the day. I start walking down the hallway towards his room. Our house isn't super big and I knew he was in there. The lights in both the hallway and his room were off and it was pretty dark in the hall, but I could see the light from his phone and knew he was lying on his bed looking at his phone. I decided to be funny and flip on the light and flop down on his bed. He was lying with his back to me. I could tell by where his phone was. As I am airborne, leaping over him him onto the far side of his bed. I see it. My son's cheesecake. As I was flipping on the light, he was rolling towards the door while pulling up his underwear and grabbed a blanket. It all happened so fast and I was already airborne before I realized what was happening. I did not see actual flesh, but definitely saw my teenaged son's zucchini through his boxer briefs. The entire situation was horrifying, for both of us, I'm sure. I have no idea what he was looking at on his phone, and I don't want to. At that point, I am still flopped down on his bed. Both of us are well aware that I just saw him whacking off. Both of us figuring out how to get the zucchini out of there. I say, dinner is almost ready. It wasn't. He said, okay, I'll be out in a minute. I said, no hurry. Now I'm standing in my kitchen, typing furiously to Reddit and wondering how much therapy he'll need if he ever finds out I posted about this to a bunch of strangers and wondering why don't boys close the door when they are masturbating. TL/doctor, basically the title. Edit, spelling. Damn it, I can't change the spelling of masturbating in the title. Oh well. I fixed Fortnite though. Edit 2, for those asking, I am mom. I want to be clear, I have absolutely no issue with him jerking off. I am a nurse. I talk to my boys openly about cheesecake, drugs, alcohol, etc. The horrifying part is that I walked in on him. That was not ideal for either one of us. Door was open. I have obviously learned my lesson and will knock all the way down the hall, send smoke signals, text him, wear bells on my shoes, etc. before I walk into his room, door open or not. From this point forward, he isn't on any social media. I am quite confident that his identity is protected. Edit 3, for anyone still interested. Thank you, almost, everyone for taking this as it was, an embarrassing moment which has most definitely taught both my son and I lessons about boundaries and privacy. Wow. I now know what RIP my inbox feels like. I had no idea Reddit would be so into my awkward moment. For those who sent creepy coconut to my inbox, just know. And an update, there is no weirdness. We went straight back to the status quo, had dinner and just continued about our night. I didn't act weird and neither did he. When I was 13, my mom used to walk into my room unannounced all the time. I always used to yell at her to knock first, but she just would come in anyway. Till she did once while I was jacking off in the dark. Of course she flipped on the light and saw me sitting there in all my shame and glory with my cheesecake in my hand. Freaked her out more than it did me. Needless to say, it was the last time she didn't knock. Deleted. My dad once walked in on my while I was jerking off. I jumped back on the computer chair and he goes just grabbing my robe. Grabs his robe and leaves. I sat in the computer room thinking how I'm gonna go to bed. Computer room was in the back of the house, my room was in the basement and I had to walk past my dad, so after a while I just put my head down and walked to bed, said goodnight and we never spoke of it ever. Shockingly embarrassing. This was about 18 years ago, so I brought it up to him not too long ago and he doesn't even remember. I'll obviously never forget. He remembers. One time when I was 16 I fapped it into a hand towel at my house, then threw the towel into the dirty washing basket. Approximately 20 seconds after doing so my mum collects the dirty washing and starts doing laundry. By this time I was on the couch sitting down to a game of COD, when my mum, who I can see in the laundry from the couch, pick up the hand towel with fresh zucchini colada, open the towel to see whether it needed pre-washing machine stain attention, see the stain, gets a puzzled look on her face, puts the towel to her nose to smell the strange stain, then looks directly at me holding the towel up and says, "Is this zucchini?" Thus was the savagery of my mother. Fresh cheesecake colada, genius. This is like every guy's worst nightmare. Pornhub stats would beg to differ lol. TIFU, my mom just jumped into my bed and caught me masturbating. Wouldn't that be a weird coincidence? I literally had the same thought. Although, instead of weird coincidence I was thinking how could this be more uncomfortable? TIFU, by telling my best friend I love her when I thought I was going to die. Throw away because I don't want this to be on my main account. Obligatory, this didn't happen today but happened last week, yada yada yada. Also please forgive my spelling mistakes because I'm in the hospital and writing this on mobile out of boredom of there being not much to do here. So, last week I was driving casually on the country road close to my house on holiday back home for the summer after my second year of college. I wasn't paying too much attention, I assumed some responsibility, and wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Yes, I'm an idiot, I know, lesson learned. Wear your seatbelts, kids. Anyway, it was just starting to rain and I saw a kid about to go into the road. For the life of me I still don't know why he thought it would be a good idea to go onto a quite highly trafficked country road so casually, but life is full of surprises. I was caught completely off guard and swerved into the opposing lane to avoid him, and promptly got hit head-on by the car coming towards me. Now, I was going quite fast and, as I said, did not have a seat belt on. Next thing I knew I was out of my car and couldn't feel anything anymore. No pain, no panic, nothing. I just saw blood and felt the biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had in my life. I just laid there, not knowing what to do. I heard voices come towards me but didn't really know what they were saying, and couldn't really respond. I thought I was going to die. There was a lot of blood. You know how they say your life flashes before your eyes when you're about to die? Well, that didn't quite happen, but I did start thinking about who I care about and who I love. Here's where I tell you about my best friend. A girl I've been in love with for around 2 years. I never let her know and never intended to. She's in a happy relationship she's had since her teens and I didn't want to ruin it. And if she's happy, I'm happy. There's no point meddling in things bigger than you, and some things aren't meant to be. But I thought I was literally dying, and all I could think about was her in those moments. The pain was starting to kick in, but I was just thinking about how she'd never know how much I loved her. I realized my phone was still in my pocket, and with all the force I could muster I took it out. It was intact and it felt like it took ages, but the only message I could send was an "I love you" to her. I thought that would be the last message I'd ever send. I don't remember much after that. Days have been a blur. I've had quite a few operations, due to trauma and a ruptured spleen. But my legs are starting to work again and my face looks like I got in a fight with a lion, but it's slowly improving. All I do is sleep and appreciate the fact I'm alive. The other driver and the kid were okay, BTW. Anyway, as you can see, I did indeed live and didn't die, so far, but I can't undo that message I sent. I've been in a lot of pain this past week, and haven't had the energy to confront the situation. I told her about the accident, and what happened, and we talked briefly but mainly about my lovely hospital experience. Earlier today she sent me a message telling me we have to talk about that message. I haven't replied yet and I don't want to. I don't know what to do. So far I've been writing this TIFU as procrastination, and then after this I plan on taking a long nap. Thank you all for your attention. Nap time calls me. TLDR, got in a car accident and while I was bleeding out I told my crush best friend I love her. She's in a 10-year relationship and I haven't talked to her about it since, and it's destroying me. God guys, this blew up so much. I only wrote this to procrastinate the inevitable conversation. You guys are amazing. Geez, thanks for all the advice and support. So I spoke to her over the phone because we're college friends and she lives far away right now. I decided that the best thing I could do at this point was just tell her the truth. I didn't expect anything and I didn't want anything to come out of it, but I just thought that to have a pure and true friendship everything needs to be out there or it just wouldn't be legitimate. I would love to tell you guys an amazing fairy tale story that would give you guys all hope for the future and whatnot, but I guess life is just different from movies. I told her how I felt in pretty much the same words as in this post. But I also added, and it's true, that I've gotten to know her boyfriend for the past few years and he's great. I don't want to hurt him or interfere as much as I want her happy. I think she understood where I came from and the circumstances in which those words were said. I hope nothing will change with her because I love spending time with her and neither of us can imagine a life without each other anymore. We both admitted that. So I guess I just have to give you the boring response. But it's reality, so sorry if it sucks. I'm okay with though, I really really didn't expect anything and still kind of think I was being selfish. We talked about a lot of other things like we normally do for a couple of hours after that, and she might be coming to visit me in the hospital this weekend. She said she'll try and make the trip, even though I told her not to because it's gonna be extremely expensive for her last minute. She was really flattered though, I think, and almost cried thinking she was the last thing I thought about when I thought I was going to die. I think my username is quite relevant here. I reckon honesty is the way forward, but you man, she's friends with you for many reasons. Knowing you're the one thing on the mind of someone who thinks they're dying is quite something. Whatever happens, all the best and good luck. Glad you got through it. Also, loving someone in such a manner bears no obligation of returning that same love. If you can both be adults and accept that, you should be able to retain your friendship. That said, I think everyone here knows that things will likely be different from here on out. So it goes. It's been an hour. Nap time over. Need update stat. He's alive. So far. The real banana up here was not wearing your seatbelt, you dingus. Why not just tell her the truth? That you literally thought you was at the pearly gates and wanted her to know, but you appreciate and respect she's in a relationship and you don't wish to ruin that. It's very romantic and sweet, so I doubt she would be mad about it. Keep us updated.